So this is what we're going to do. So we're going to start with my website just to kind of give an overview of my website and what we do here at the Broussard Trust. So you come here right in the front, bam, while you're here, free life lesson. So anybody can fill this out and I'll email you, your life lesson. That's your reason for being here. Everybody that's a part of this already know how to do their own numbers, but this is just for newcomers, people who's just interested. And then when you come down here, you see join now. This is the Broussard Trust, and this is a little video kind of breaking down what it is. And I'm going to just explain it briefly. The Broussard Trust is an online community that I created in 2020, and it was created almost like a support group, but it was created primarily to help people in three areas, which is health, wealth, and knowledge of self. And truth be told, these are areas that I struggle with in my life. And in my journeys, I've learned some things about health. I've learned some things about wealth, and I've learned some things about who I am and what my purpose is. And I've found a methodology to discover that. And so this is really a community of a lot of the things that I've learned, but it's not just me. It's other members of the community who share, their knowledge, their wisdom, their understanding from their experiences about these topics as well. It's great for anybody who wants to make a change in their life, who's trying to make a change for the better, who wants to be a part of bigger than something than themselves, and almost like a support group. So we're going to start with the health. And when you click on the health section, the health tab here on my website, if you notice this apple, if you click on it, it'll give you a list of foods to eat. And that list is based off the works of Dr. Sebi. Many people are familiar with Dr. Sebi's work. I'm not going to get into a diatribe about who he is. You can Google him. And for the record, I'm not a vegan. I'm a pescatarian. I do cheat from time to time. I might have a chicken wing every once in a while. But the most part is all about balance. I do cleanses regularly. I just got off a 20-day cleanse literally yesterday. So I just finished 20 days yesterday, all raw fruits and vegetables and taking a bunch of herbs. So I do that regularly, but I am conscientious of what I eat, and I primarily eat plant-based. But I cheat every now and again. It's all about balance. So diet is the first part, when it comes to the health. And then the second part is going to be exercise. And when it comes to exercise, there are many different exercises people can do, but I recommend Qigong, which is an ancient Chinese developed martial arts. It's an internal martial arts. And if you scroll down, you'll see a video. This video is about 25 minutes long, I believe. This guy who's in the video is Sensei Michael Issa. He's actually one of my real martial arts instructors. I've been studying martial arts for about 15 years off and on. So he's one of my instructors. He's in Dunwoody, Georgia, so he is local, but he has a great website. And if you see the link here, says Sensei Michael Issa, you click here, and he has a lot of free classes. So this is something recommended to the members. Again, it's not, mandatory. It's not compulsory. It's for those who want to improve their health. This will also help you with your trading, because Qigong and Tai Chi are a form of meditation. It's actually called moving meditation. Qigong is less movements and more stances and breathing. So it is a form of meditation. So you can literally just watch this video every day and go through this exercise, and I guarantee you'll start to feel more energy. You'll feel more vibrant, especially if you combine that with the eating habits. And if you scroll down a little bit further, you will see another video, and this is one of my business partners. His name is Light Burley. He does a form of martial arts called 52 block, similar to dirty boxing, a style that was developed by African Americans, foundational Black Americans, whatever term we want to use, Moors, and it was developed in the prison systems, and it's really a very strategic form of martial arts that includes primarily blocks and defense. It's 100% defense. So you actually have to pair it with a striking system, and boxing is the one that we pair with the most. And I only put this on here because this is a great cardio workout. Plus, it's practical. You can use it in real time. I do have a nonprofit with this brother, and we teach this to the youth. So if you click on here, this is where you can sign up for classes that Light Burley has online for the 52 block if anybody was interested in learning. I recommend this for single moms. This is great if you got a son. You can even practice with him and help him. It's just a great bonding way and in a way to give him some discipline. So highly, highly recommend it. So that's the health part. It's just diet and exercise, guys, to maintain your health. We do discuss herbs. Oh, I forgot to show you the herb page. One last thing on the health. If you come down here and you click on this banner here or on this herb, you'll notice it'll take you to Divine Medicinals. This is a website that is owned by a brother named Daudi Ma'at Ra. He actually studied under Sebi. I've been taking his products for at least 10 years. He has something called a full body detox. I was able to cleanse myself, cure myself of diabetes in 20 days using this. He also has a blood cleanse. So I highly recommend this if you're having any issues. And it's just a great website. So, we basically provide you with this information that you can utilize on your own. We even have a list of herbs and I have books on this. So, anybody that's a part of this community, we can have a one-on-one. You can tell me some things you're dealing with. And I have a very practical approach to using holistic medicine. Me personally, just the way that I do mine, I go to see my primary care physician, my actual doctor. I get blood work. I get all tests run. Then I'll do a 20-day cleanse and come back right after. So I'll go to the doctor and I'll say, hey, I want to come back in 21 days and get retested for everything. This is what I highly recommend. And this is how you know if this stuff is working or not. I actually did it. So I'm not telling you some theory or something I heard or, hey, I felt better. No, this is documented by me going to a doctor, having blood work done, and then going back literally 21 days later after my 20-day cleanse, and my diabetes was gone. I had other health issues. They all went away. Even the doctor couldn't believe it. He was like totally in shock. He said that they made a mistake because he just didn't want to admit that this stuff is real. So, everybody's body is different. I'm not a doctor or physician. You should always check with your PCP, your primary care physician. But just know that herbs have been used for thousands of years to heal our people, and I do have some good information on it, as well as other members as well. So that's the health aspect. Then we get into wealth. So you click on the wealth tab, and when it comes to wealth, we take a two-step approach. We're only dealing with primarily two things, and that's credit and investing. Credit, we show you how to fix your credit. I was a paralegal for 10 years, so I learned how to fix credit by fixing my own. So we help members who need their credit fixed. We help them fix their credit. If you're in the state of Georgia, I also have multiple businesses, so I can help you set up a business and show you how to build business credit. It's not hard. It just takes a little bit of time and a few dollars. But these are things that I can teach you because I've actually done it myself. I don't really teach things I haven't done. So all of these things I'm telling you I've actually done. And then the other thing, when it comes to investing, we focus on the Forex market. And most people are familiar with Forex. If you're not, it just stands for foreign exchange. And we're just making money off the currency rate or the exchange rate that fluctuates every day in the markets. And it's the biggest market on the planet. It's like $6 trillion a day. It's bigger than the stock market. But we also dabble in stocks. We also dabble in indices. We also dabble in cryptocurrency, and that's going to be coming soon. More crypto information with some of our new members. So this is really the wealth is really just credit and Forex. So I actually send out signals because it would take you some time to learn. I've been trading for 5 years. Took me 4 to become profitable. And the system that I use is based off the daily chart. And why that's important is because I've been a part of other signals group and they don't work. And the reason they don't work is because they're sending out these signals at all hours of the night. I would get a signal at 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 7 a.m., 10 a.m., noon, 1:30 p.m. I mean, you never know when it's coming out. And if you're like most people who work a 9 to 5, you don't have time to just sit in front of your phone and keep checking it every 2 minutes. So I have a system in which I trade, where we trade the daily chart, which the daily candle comes out at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and lasts until 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time the next day. So I send out the trade signals before 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, in between the window of about 4:40 and 4:55. So I start checking the charts every day, Monday through Thursday at 4:30, and usually within 15 minutes I'll know if I have a trade. Obviously, I do not have a trade every single day, and then I will send out a trade. I hate to talk about my win rate because it fluctuates, but it is pretty high, 70 to 80% on average is my win rate. But I do not send out trades every day. You may get about 4, maybe 5 trades a month because you got to remember the average trade lasts about 3 to 4 days because this is the daily. Actually, Cyan, who's on the call now, who's been with us for a couple of years, I think the last trade she was in, she might have been in it for like almost 2 weeks or something like that. But she can vouch for that. So my trades do tend to last a long time, which gives you opportunity to get in multiple positions. Okay. And this is the way we trade. And I also show you how to go to the lower time frames, look for other entries on the hour and the 4-hour chart so that you can really take advantage of that. So that has to do with the wealth. And then the last section is knowledge of self. And knowledge of self is, it might sound esoteric or weird or whatever, but it's not that deep. It just means who you are. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? And what is your purpose? Now, there's multiple ways to find the answer to that question. Multiple ways. We choose to use math, aka numerology. Numerology is math. Numerology explores the qualitative side of numbers as opposed to the quantitative side of numbers. As numbers have 2 parts, they're both quantitative and qualitative. Quantity, I have 1 cell phone, 2 cell phone, 3 cell phone. That's quantity. Quality or characteristic, I got to do a number 1, I got to do a number 2, or the dreaded number 3. In that context, you know what that means. But numbers are a form of communication. We hold the position that it is the way that the creator communicates directly to us. And there's a book called Numerology and the Divine Triangle, basically the only numerology book you'll need. And with this one book, I can teach you a divination system that will show you how to not only find out about who you are and your purpose, but how to find out about your cycles. And what the key to numerology is understanding that time is cyclical. Time is not linear. So time moves in cycles and the market moves in cycles. And so if you can understand just that simple fact that time moves in cycles, I can then provide you with a mathematical formula that will actually show you how to calculate those cycles. And then you can literally use that to find out what cycle you're in. And you go through a cycle every 9 years, every 9 months, and every 9 days, and it can be mathematically calculated. Now, you can also find out about yourself and your purpose through prayer, through meditation, through astrology, tarot cards. There's so many different ways to do this, but this is what I know and this is what I teach. So this is a little bit about the community. I did have a YouTube show called Vegan Life ATL, and here are some episodes. So if you click on this at the top, you can go to that. And this just shows some great plant-based restaurants in Atlanta to go to. So now that we've went over that, I'm gonna get a little bit into my divination system. So this is it says, what is the Busara Trust? And this is a little something that I send to all the members, just an overview of what it is and what we do, and a little bit about myself as well, just so you have some information about the community and what it is. But when you scroll down, this is what I wanted to show you, the divine mathematics. And this is the way that I describe numbers 1 through 9. I usually use the story of Adam and Eve to demonstrate this, just because most people are familiar with the story. And in the story, we know that Adam came first, so 1 is man. After man, then came woman, so 2 is woman. After man and woman, then they have a child, so 3 is child. After they have a child, then they build a home, so 4 represents builder. After they build a home, then they explore their area, so 5 represents freedom. After they explore their area, then they get their family in order, so 6 represents family. After that, they get in tune with God, so 7 represents God, or their higher self. Then after they get in tune with God, then they get the money and the power. So 8 represents power. And then after that, they give it all away, which is compassion. And that's the highest level, which is number 9. And everybody knows that 9 is a very powerful number. It is divisible by itself. You multiply 9 by any number and add that number up, you'll always get back to 9. So 9 times 2 is 18. 1 and 8 is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. 2 and 7 is 9. So it always goes back to 9. And if you scroll down, I actually have a breakdown of each number, man, which also equals knowledge. And it says that is itself realizing that it is. Before knowledge of self, you truly do not exist. You and your thoughts are one and the same. This is the beginning, the masculine principle. And I give keywords and I go to each number. And this just gives you a framework of how I view numbers. Again, I hold the position that numbers are a form of communication. I believe it is the way that the universe or the creator communicates to us. And this is, if you will, a lexicon or breakdown. When I put this together, this is not only a little bit about the community, but a lot of the things that I teach within the community and things that I like to promote. And the Law of Success in 16 Lessons is definitely a very powerful book. I highly recommend it. It is not mandatory or compulsory, but I send everybody who's a member the PDF version because it's just good in general to set goals. And you know, it's hard to figure out where you're going when you don't have a blueprint or a map. And I think this is a great blueprint. Here are the 16 laws. I wrote it down. Definite chief aim, self-confidence, the habit of saving, initiative and leadership, imagination, enthusiasms, self-control, the habit of doing more than paid for. This is very powerful. Pleasing personality. The habit of doing more than paid for is not a coincidence that it's number 8 because this will make you money. This is how you make your money, doing this. And I'm actually a bear witness to that. I've had that happen. Pleasing personality. Interesting that that's number 9 because 9 represents compassion. Accurate thinking is 10. Concentration is 11. Cooperation is 12. Profiting by failure. Tolerance is 14. And practicing the golden rule is number 15. And the mastermind is the first one that we don't really, it's not on the list because it says 16 lessons, but it's the mastermind. And that's coming together. And that's what this is. The Broussard Trust is actually a mastermind because we come together and 2 or more are gathered. You know, those thoughts then can easily become reality. I then have what is called the 1-8 declarations. This is basically what will be also kind of similar to catechisms, where it's question and answer. And these are just some basic questions about what the Broussard Trust is, and you know, just questions, basic questions about the community that people may have. That's all it is, and just some of the things that we stand on. The 7 universal principles is included in here. And then I actually have a breakdown of the 7 universal principles, which the universal law of mentalism, number 1, the universal law of correspondence, 2, universal law of vibration, number 3. This has to do with numerology. The universal law of polarity is 4. The universal law of rhythm is 5. That also has to do with numerology because things ebb and flow. The universe flows. The universal of law of cause and effect, which is 6. And 7, the universal law of gender. And these are very interesting laws. You can find this in a book called The Kabbalion. Highly recommend it. And these are the books that we recommend to our members: Numerology and Divine Triangle. That's the main book that we use for our divination system. We use that pretty much whenever we're trading. Numerology with Tantra, Ayurveda, and Astrology, A Key to Human Behavior. That's a great book for compatibility and seeing who your what your relationship dynamic is like. And I also teach on that book. But I send most. I have a PDF that I can send members, and then The Law of Success in 16 Lessons by Napoleon Hill. So this is just a little bit about what the community has to offer and what we stand on and what we teach here. Now you should be able to see my screen. I'm in MetaTrader 4, and I was just pointing to this layout, this setup right here that I caught. This is one of them. When you see the arrow pointing down, you get in. Now this is the system that I use. I teach my students support and resistance. I also can help them create their own algorithm on MetaTrader 4 if that's what they want to do. They can create one on TradingView. I give them, I basically show them where I get a majority of my indicators from. And again, we just use indicators, guys. I know people love price action and all of that, but I do use price action as well. I use support and resistance, price action, and indicators. But indicators is a big part of my trading dynamic because I find it an easy way to spot a trend, and I trade 27 pair. So I can go through these pair fairly quickly. And it's very obvious when we have a trade. Pretty obvious when there's a sell, and even with a buy, it's pretty obvious. Now, sometimes these arrows will repaint, which means they'll show up, and then you look again tomorrow, and you're like, hey, they're not here because the market may have moved. And that does happen from time to time, but not often. But I have some things in place that I do to try to minimize that. So if we can go to another pair, USD JPY. Again, you see this buy signal arrow, pretty strong. And this went up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Again, 14 days. Guys, the way that I trade, I am a reverse trend trader who swings. I'm a reverse swinger, reverse trend trade swinger. That's the best way to describe it. I'm looking for a reversal. I'm looking for a trend. The trend is your friend, and I'm on the daily chart. So I'm definitely swinging. I'm not in it on no 15-minute. And full disclosure, my stop losses on average are about 50 pips. That's because we're on the daily chart, guys. 50 pips. It doesn't matter how many pips because you can always adjust your lot size. If you're going to risk $50 and you got 10 pip stop loss, excuse me, you got a 10 pip stop loss, then you're going to do $5 a pip because 5 times 10 is 50. However, if you want to risk that same $50 and you're on one of my trades with a 50 pip stop loss, then you're going to do $1 a pip, still risking the same amount. The question becomes, what is the risk to reward? If I'm risking 50, how many pips am I looking to make? And again, we take what the market gives us. So I can't say it's going to be a 8R, a 8 return, a 6 return. Sometimes it is a 6R. Sometimes it's a 2R. Sometimes a 3R. It's whatever the market gives us. But as you can see, if you got in down here and you rolled this up for 18 days, you definitely made more than what you risked. These are the type of runs that we look for, guys. And I'm going to run through a couple more and show you, just so you can see the dynamics. And again, guys, this is not difficult. All transparency. This system that I use is a mixture of no nonsense Forex. Shout out to VP. And I also use some stuff that I learned from Urban Forex. Shout out to Naveen Prithiani, as well as ICT. Some of their stuff on support and resistance and zones. So I don't just use indicators, guys. When I see, for instance, if I was to see this and say, oh, this is a buy, like this one right here, I actually have a buy signal on this. I'm not getting into it only because it's the end of the month and it's a Sunday. But if you look at GBP USD, I will then go and let me share my screen. I'm about to pull it up just so you can see the method to the way I do it. We would go into TradingView, type in GBP USD. We would go to Owanda. And now, if you notice, I just have a buy signal on this. Now, this is a zone right here. I would expect, right? I'm expecting this to go up. I got a buy signal about 2 candles ago. However, I didn't get in here. I ideally would have got in down here. I usually get in on pullbacks, but this is something that could be gotten into, and my stop loss would be somewhere around the middle of this zone. I probably would go to the 4 hour and look. If you look on the 4 hour, I just got a couple of trend lines. I would like it to probably be below this, which is the 9 and 21 moving average. This yellow is the 50. It has not crossed the 50 yet. So I do like to look at those. But if you were to go down, that would be about 55 pips. So that would be my stop loss, 55 pips. And I would expect to break this and go up to about here. So that's 136 pips. So that's about kind of, this would be a setup that I'm not getting in this, guys, but this is just an example of how I look at my charts. Once I see it, then I come in here and draw it up and look for pullbacks, look for zones, and look for my entries on the 4 hour and the daily. So let me go back to my MetaTrader 4. And again, guys, this is an outdated system. And this is just one of my algorithms. Here's another one. So this one's a little different, but I'll put it in this one also. So I'll look at it on both. And then I'll go and draw it up in TradingView. And it doesn't take long. If I see something, that little white dot represents a reversal. These red dots, you can see every time it hit, it goes down consistently. Consistently. My algorithm works, guys. It's just because I trade the daily, you have to be patient. But it also works on the 4 hour. It also works on the 1 hour. So it works on other time frames. But again, I work a 9 to 5. So the system I use is more a passive form of trading. So we're going to look at a couple more on the daily. This is AUD USD. As you can see, look at this. If we caught this here, this has been going down for days. Now, this is the daily. So if we look at the weekly, this has actually been going down for weeks. And we're about to run through the weekly in a minute. It's only been going down for two months. But it's at a strong support. It's at a strong support. So we could possibly have a reversal next month. If you look, it's been going down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 weeks straight. So maybe within the next week or two, I might be looking for a reversal on this AUD USD, and we can probably ride this up somewhere here and catch some nice pips. So we like the longer time frame, guys. That's what we do. And so now what I'm going to do, and this is what I do every Sunday, is I'm going to run through all 27 pair real quick just so you can see my process. Again, I do this every day at 4:30 on the daily chart. I don't really trade the weekly per se. However, on Sundays, this is our meeting day. I go through the weekly charts. And if we see something, we will get in. We have gotten in on the weekly, and I've rolled trades out for weeks at a time. But often, if I see something, I will then look to enter on the daily or the 4 hour. So I just want to be clear. I don't really per se trade the weekly, but we do check the weekly on Sundays because it is the top of the week. But we look for entries on the daily and the 4 hour. So it's very simple, very easy. To show you how quick I can go through this, Euro USD, USD JPY. And what I'm looking for is something obvious, an arrow. Honestly, I'm looking for a big old arrow. Just point up or down, and then I'll kind of do a little more analysis. Now, this one, if you notice, you got an arrow, but it's been struggling. It hasn't really been going up much. It's not a lot of liquidity in the market. This is GBP Swiss. So this is something that, you kind of keep an eye on, but it's really in consolidation, so it's not something I'm messing with. USD Swiss. This is Euro JPY. And again, this is a good example. This is the weekly chart. We got a buy signal. The following week, we had this, which almost looks like a reversal candle. And then we got 3 weeks going up. And you notice all of this lines up. When this turns green and we just had a green arrow and then this is white, this would be the time to get in. So last week, the week before that would have been ideal to get in this trade, right? I'm not getting in it now, but I'm just showing you what we're looking for. Very obvious, right? We're looking for something that really sticks out. This one may be possible going back down. We're at a major resistance zone. You see this red zone. So this is something I'll be keeping an eye on within the next week or so. Euro Swiss. This one looks like we have finally gotten some movement. This is one that I like for a buy. So I would then go down to the daily. And if you notice on the daily, it is starting to move up. When it went up, came back down. And I actually caught this first wave. So I did catch that. Let's go to the monthly. We got a buy signal on the monthly. And we all know that the end of the month is in about 2 days. So what I'm about to do is I'm going to probably do a class on the first. And this is one of the pairs that I'm going to be looking to possibly get in and ride this up, hopefully for a couple of months. That's the monthly. All right. So we keep going down the line. This is Euro GBP. Here's GBP odd, GBP CAD, GBP JPY, USD CAD. Nothing really sticking out, guys. Nothing sticking out. But we're looking for something very obvious. And okay, so this is a good one. We just got a buy signal on this is AUD Swiss, right? Got a buy signal. So we got a buy signal on the weekly. So usually when I get this buy signal, and you can see it in the past, it's when we back test it. If you notice, it's usually the following week before it starts to go up. So if you get a buy signal this week, I would ideally wait till next week. But I will check the monthly, and we got a buy on the monthly. So we got a buy on the monthly, we got a buy on the weekly on AUD Swiss. So now what I would do is let me share my screen. I'm going to go into Trading View and draw up. Go to AUD Swiss. Go to Rwanda. Bam. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Go to the daily. Go to the weekly. So as you can see, this is already going up for the week. The day, this has already made a nice little move for the day. I wouldn't want to get in something this late. This is why I don't really trade on Sundays, because remember, the way I trade, we get in before the close of the daily candle. So I would have got in this at 450, but the markets on Sunday opens at 5 p.m., so I couldn't have got in this. And when the market first opened, the spreads are huge, so I couldn't get in it. However, if you notice, it's crossing the 9-moving average on the daily. So tomorrow might be an opportunity to get in. However, but because it's the end of the month, and I'm looking at the weekly and the monthly, I would probably even go so far as to put a buy limit right here at 0.55957 for next month. And I would ideally like to see this come down. And again, this is just what I'm going to be keeping an eye on. Obviously, I can't guarantee that it's going to do this, but I would like next month for it to come down, touch this line, and then come up on the monthly. So that's what I'm going to be looking for. And what I'll do is let me erase that. I will actually set an alarm so that when it crosses, it'll tell me to buy. So oh, you know what? I messed up. I got to put it on the 4-hour. Oh no, on the daily. All right, so we're gonna do the alarm. I had it on the monthly chart. That's why it. Hold on, we got to do it on. Oh, trash it. All right, we do it on bam. Okay, on the daily. So we do buy just to keep me informed. So now I'll be looking for this as a possible buy. This would be a real nice. I would like for it to come back down here and touch it next week or at the beginning of the month. If it does that, my stop loss would be right below here. I probably would put it about here, which is about a 22 pip stop loss. Be looking to take it to a minimum of here, which is 70 pips. So this would be something. This is my I'm just showing you my methodology, how I look at the chart. So this is a play that I would be looking at, but I'm not gonna get in nothing today. Again, this is just for next week. But again, I saw I looked at that because I got this signal here, right? And it's see this signal. So this signal prompted me to then go and look it up. And it's quick, it's easy, doesn't take me long to run through these. I'm almost done actually. AUDJPY, AUDNZD, Swiss JF, Swiss JPY, CAD CHF, GBP, NZD. Again, guys, this is the weekly chart. Okay, we got another buy on NZD Swiss. The last pair was a Swissy. So, I also like to use correlation. So, hey, we see another Swiss pair, right? AUD Swiss. Now we got to buy on NZD Swiss, right? So now we know that we need to keep an eye on this Swiss. And that's the daily. This is the weekly. And this is the month. So this is another one that we're going to keep an eye on and see. And I already got a trend line drawn here, and you can see this trend line is based on the weekly chart. So, but this is a great area to get in because this is an all-time low here. This is a super low, and we can do about. I mean, you could do about. I would like for it to come back down and touch this line, um, and get in there ideally. And if that happens, we get in on this line here, and I'm gonna set an alarm. Then your stop loss is only like 33 pips. I would just make it right below here. And honestly, if we got to buy on the weekly, we should get a minimum of here, which is 154 pips. But if it breaks this, it's gonna hit at least to this zone. But this would be probably over a couple of month period. Again, we're swing trader guys. We can get in multiple positions, right? We can get in multiple positions. Okay, let me finish this up. So we got the weekly, back to the weekly, finish up. All right, and I just added two new pair that I'm going to be looking at, and that's Hong Kong dollar and Japanese yen. It seems to trend very well and seems to work really good with my algorithm. So I'm gonna be looking at that. I haven't been doing that. That's something I'm gonna bring into the new year. And this is US dollar, Hong Kong dollar. So I'm done. It that only took me 12 minutes, and I went through 27 pair plus the two new pair. So I went through 29 pair in 12 minutes, and I stopped to explain. Normally, it wouldn't have took that long. So you can see how I'm able to trade 27 pair because I've heard people, oh, you mean you trade 27 pair? That's impossible. Nope, I trade 27 pair, and I can go through them in a matter of probably 5 minutes. Like I said, I check the charts at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll send the signal out typically around 4:45, 4:50. What you should do is you should look at your numbers for the day. I already showed you how to calculate your day and look and see what your number says for that day and the following day, right? So if today is a 36, then tomorrow's going to be a 37, unless tomorrow's the first of a new month. In that case, then you're going to have to redo your whole calculation because you're going to have to change the month plus the day. But ideally, you're going to just look up one number, go up one number. So you'll check that day and the next day. And that will tell you a little bit about the psychology, your mindset, what you're dealing with, what cycle you're in. So it may say something like, today is not a good day for speculative risk. I would say, hey, don't take my trade on that day. Don't trade at all. And it's funny because I actually had one time I sent out a signal and one of my students was like, hey, my numbers are saying that I shouldn't trade today. And I said, don't follow my numbers. And that trade was a losing trade. She would have lost. So, you know, You have to look at your numbers. And I look at my numbers every day as well. And there are days where I won't send out a trade signal because there are days where to say the information that you provide will be misleading, or it's a term it used where it's basically, it says like people will follow your lead, and it won't work out or something along those lines. I've seen this number before on my chart, and I've actually sent out trades on that day and it wouldn't work out. And I was like, man, I seen that, but the setup looked sweet. So, this is through trial and error. This is not a belief system, guys. It's math, it's science. The only way you're gonna know if this works is by testing it. Not only can you test it with my trade signals, you can test it for yourself. If you're a day trader, you can just run your numbers for that day and then journal. Hey, and if you think you're making it come true, like one student said, oh, I'm reading it, so I'm making it come true. Okay, how about you take the trade, journal it, and then look at your numbers the next day for the previous day and see if it adds up. That way, you're not quote unquote creating your reality by reading it beforehand. We've thought of everything, guys. This is meant to be tested. But that's a great question. All you do is look at your number for that day that you're taking the trade on. And if it's my trade, you really want to look at the day after because, again, the trade is going to last 24 hours.
Okay, well, my name is James. Within the course itself, I go by the name Tapped In. I guess you could say it's like my cryptocurrency alter ego or something like that. But
Nice.
it's a comprehensive course and it's free. Some of the information like surrounding the exchanges are dated because regulations are coming in.
Yes.
But overall, the concepts, if anything, if you want to learn how to send cryptocurrency, if you want to learn how to store cryptocurrency, it teaches you how to do it responsibly because it's a lot of scams that's out there. It's a lot of, I guess you can say, dead ends where people
Mm-hmm.
would try and trap people to
Yeah.
take their assets. So it'll put you in a position where you can comfortably navigate the space. And like I said, it's 100% free. Um, I discussed blockchain technology, and the truth about it. Let's just say that
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of people aren't talking about blockchain. Everyone is talking about crypto because that's what they're making money with. But
Right.
blockchain is the road that cryptocurrency runs on, and it's a very dangerous road to those that are not aware of what it really is, which is a digital accounting system. It tracks all of your online actions. I also get into markets. I majored in economics, so it's very important that you understand what a market is because a lot of people will buy assets or they'll get into crypto and they can't even define marketplace. And
Mm-hmm.
I explain wholesale and retail. And I actually get into artificial intelligence as well and where technology is taking us, considering that we are entering the age of Aquarius, and or are there. So yeah, that's a pretty much overview. It's videos where I'm
Mm-hmm.
giving my perspective, but then at the bottom of the videos, if you scroll down, you'll actually be able to get information that's present,
Mm-hmm.
and within that information, you can do even more research, or you can read if you are a person that wants more information on a particular subject. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the course is very professional, very well put together. I highly recommend it. It's definitely dope. So what is the best place to buy crypto right now? Is KuCoin still a thing?
So QCoin is still present, but it's not present for Americans anymore. So the last bull run, I love that it's present, like even keeping it within the course so people can see that this industry is evolving and it's
Mm-hmm.
literally in evolving uh every day, really. But you could get access to QCoin if you had um a digital ID. So
Okay.
another thing that is major about blockchain is like we have licenses now, we're going to have digital IDs in the future if we still want to participate in the matrix. So you can get a digital ID for a completely different country, right? You have to pay to play, but at the end of the day, um, how can I put this? If you get an ID, let's say like a Palau ID, you can
Mm-hmm.
then log in with Qcoin to pretty much participate in that marketplace. But if I had to say the best place to get coins right now, it depends on what type of coins you're trying to buy. If you're trying to buy large cap coins or coins that are more so prone to that have been established for a while or a project that has been established, I would say go with Uphold or Coinbase. But if you're going to do that, then you also need to make sure that you have a hard wallet where you could take your assets off of their websites and off of their exchanges and keep control of your money. Because remember, I guess you could say in the front of my website it says time is the new currency, you are the bank. So you want to put yourself in a position where you're being responsible for being that banking system for yourself, right? Where you're practicing being sovereign for yourself. Another place where you can go through swap services. I talked about those in the exchange. I mean, in the course too. Places like Uniswap where you can go and get coins significantly cheaper, but it takes the skill set of knowing how to send your money, and I teach that within this course. So even though Qcoin is down, you still
Mhm.
could use that material to know how to navigate um, cryptocurrency and blockchain technology. So
Okay.
I would say Uphold, Coinbase, and you could use those as ways to get certain coins that you may want to build your portfolio with. But
Uh-huh.
let's say that you wanted to get on a swap service and you wanted to swap, let's say Ethereum, right? You
Yeah.
wanted to swap Ethereum for a particular coin. Well, you could use your Ethereum that you bought off of your your Coinbase or your Uphold, and from there you can send it to a swap service and exchange it for a coin that you feel like has growth potential.
Oh, okay. And
So
what about it was Qcoin? What was the other one? It was another one that wholesales as well.
finance,
Binance. Yes. What about them? Are they still available to US
they are
citizens?
restricting. So what I think, and a lot of me and my crypto friends we speak about is, it's almost as if they're trying to restrict Americans from participating in this wealth transfer.
Yep.
And
I noticed that.
the reason as to why, it's speculative for me to say that, for me to say this, but I personally feel like, you have a nation of um, debtors, right? And
Yes.
they say that the slave is bar. What does it say? The bar is slave to the lender. So with that
Mm.
being the case, I feel like they're putting Americans in a position where you will own nothing and be happy.
Mm.
Hmm.
Okay, that makes sense. I can see that. So,
Gaining
mhm,
access and gaining intelligence on how to navigate this space can not only put you in a position where you're comfortable or safe, but I feel like it's literally your freedom. It's what
mm,
you know and what you apply, right? Like, you only know it if you live in it. But
right.
like literally taking the information and just building a solid foundation and having the willingness to continue to learn, right? You
Right.
could buy through a wallet called MetaMask, right?
Mm,
MetaMask will connect you to a system called MoonPay, right? You can
okay.
connect your debit card directly to MoonPay system, and it'll allow you a on ramp to the market as well.
Wow.
So there are several avenues. It's just a matter of feeling comfortable because crypto can be very tedious.
Right.
And again, if you're sending a few $1,000s, you'll want to know what you're doing. But within the
Right.
course, I teach you how to do that without needing me for anything.
Right.